Well, the Wall Street example is a very simple system that all creatures operate on, and that is in building the emotional system does not come pre-assembled. You have to learn how to assemble it, and you do that through experience. So if you're rewarded, you tend to repeat whatever you got rewarded for. If you're punished, you tend to avoid whatever you got punished for. And on Wall Street, if you make up some cockamamie mortgage scheme and you get $1 billion for it, you go, wow, that's really cool, let's do that again. Which is exactly, it's a simplified version of what happened on Wall Street, but essentially these guys saw a thing that they could do, these mortgage default insurance schemes in a rising market, that every time they did it, it rewarded them. And so they did it again and again and again. And it's like having fire insurance on your house, only 1,000 other guys have fire insurance on your house too. So when your house burns down, the company that insured you goes bust because it can't pay everybody. So that's a very simplified scheme in which you get rewarded and do again the wrong thing. When you say that someone is experienced, often what you mean is that they have done the wrong thing more times than you have. But one of the other systems that I talk about in the book is the mental model system, and I'll give you an example of a really bad mistake that I made using mental models. When I was a little kid, my grandmother had an ashtray that looked like a rattlesnake. It was a beautiful thing made out of stone, and it was very realistic. And I had this model in my head of a rattlesnake that was, you know, benign. It was a harmless thing, and it had these nice emotional associations with my childhood and my grandmother. And frankly, I never thought about it again. I don't know where it went. But one day as an adult, I was hiking in the Santa Monica Mountains, and I came across the ruin of a stone house. And I thought, oh, cool, I'll look for a souvenir here. I'll find some old tool or something to bring home with me from this ruined house in this stone rubble. And I started searching around, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, there was my grandmother's ashtray. I'm like, what a miracle, my grandmother's ashtray. How did that happen? And I reached out to pick it up, and then I saw its tongue come out. And of course, I realized the very stupid mistake that I had made, because I had all this intellectual knowledge that could have prevented me from doing that, but that didn't, because I was operating on the mental model, the closest association I had, and it was stored away. I hadn't thought about it for decades, and it was my grandmother's ashtray. So I knew intellectually, for example, that the chances of finding my grandmother's ashtray anywhere in the known universe were approximately 0. I knew also that I was in the mountain wilderness where rattlesnakes are really common in California. I knew that they like to poke around in stone ruins because mice live there. I knew all this stuff, and it did me no good. So this is what I mean when I say smart people do stupid things. This is the type of mistake that certain scientists call an intelligent mistake, because all my learning, my most important learning, caused the mistake.